Hey everybody, it's WHM Brick Bros back with another video, and this will be a part 2 on how to mod or improve your Slave 1 or Boba Fett starship. Alright, so to get started today, we are going to start by modding these wings that just don't turn always, and they kind of flop around. I don't know, they're on opposite axes. I just don't love it. And so we're going to change that, and then we're also going to get rid of this handle, which I just think is kind of useless, and I don't love the way I mean, they did a pretty good job blending it into the back, but it just doesn't look great, and it interferes with trying to make these wing pieces actually move together. And when you do mod the wings, they will be more stiff, so you will have to move them when you tilt it up. But then again, it's not tilting when I tilt it up, and one will tilt, one won't. It's just kind of annoying. So you will have to move it, but both wings will move at the same time, and then we'll just remove that entire handle. Alright, so first of all, you're going to need these pieces to get underway today. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. But you're going to need basically 2 of these like Technic pieces, crossbars that are about like this, that just allow a piece like this to stick in, and then it kind of goes halfway. So you're going to need 2 of those. Then you're going to need a crossbar, Technic, whatever you want to call it, piece. It's, I don't know what size it is. It's about, I don't know, the length of maybe say, well, I'd say it's the length from here to the end, like that, about. So if you're looking for that in your collection, it does not matter what the color is, because it will be completely covered up. I use dark light gray because I have it. These 2 pieces that just go all the way through, 2 of these. Yeah, so 1, 2 more of those here. And that's all you're going to need for that modding of the wing, or like connection wing part. But also, to add to that, we're going to need 2 of these white. It could be any color, but I have white right now. Just 1x2 bricks with holes through the middle. A green, dark green. This could be any color. 2x2. A dark gray, 2x2. I don't know where I use that. 2 light gray, 1x2s. And then 2 dark gray 6ers. 1x6ers. 2x6 light gray piece. 2 1x2 thin pieces. And then 4 total of these 1x1 thin pieces, but you're going to need 2 dark gray and 2 light gray. Alright, so to get started, once you have all your pieces, you're basically going to destroy this entire thing. Alright, not destroy it, but you're going to strip it down completely. So first of all, we did the same thing in part 1 when we modded the gap and the stud shooters. You're just going to repeat the same process of removing these green pieces. And then you're going to remove all of the 4 curved pieces. And again, like normally, you remove the cockpit. And you're keeping all of these pieces. Pop this off, the main cockpit. You will have some access. I do like to just stick this right back on there, because otherwise it gets confusing. But, so I just stick the pieces that come off. Those pieces you can kind of keep in there. So first of all, you're actually going to pop out this entire wing piece with everything hooked on. So as you can see, these things move independently, and they are not connected at all. And part of that that's stopping that is this connection here with these orange pieces. But we're going to remove those. They aren't really necessary. But so to get started, I'm going to basically rip out. You can do it in however many sections, but I took out this first. This is all going to need to be saved. I took out this little contraption second, and there will be pieces that just kind of come off separately. So you'll get, this is what I did. So I took out these guys, which went right around here, and this entire thing, which went in here. You are going to remove this red piece. And then just that one we aren't going to actually use. That's a piece that isn't going to be necessary. You are going to want to keep the rest of these pieces so far. You're going to just pop off these guys. Set them aside. And that's all you're going to actually need to do. Then you should be able to go underneath and just... You're going to go on the other side. I'm going to pop off these 2x4s and the engines. And then I'm going to pop off this right here. Same thing on both sides. Keep all of that. So that then I should be able to remove this entire thing from it like that. So then you're also going to want to remove the sixers and this thing. So now you've got this entire thing. And you're going to want to pull out those orange pieces that I talked about earlier. Those we are actually not going to use. And so you've got this. And, I mean, you probably could force this handle out. But you might... Actually, no. You might break the pieces. So what I'm going to do is... go along this other side and just so once we go towards the front, we're just going to basically rip everything out here too. So going along, removing just each section, trying to kind of keep it in its sections. So just, where's my remover? Just kind of doing it piece by piece. So that, and then just having chunks like that you can just easily put back on, including this one that I'm just going to stick right in here. And each side's maybe a little different because they have different pieces, but overall it's the same on both sides. And you're just going to want to just keep going through these chunks here. So so that's the other thing with the orange pieces. This may seem a lot flimsier just to start with. But once you just build the entire thing together, it'll be just fine. Oh yeah, I had it like this, and then this piece here. So now those pieces can be removed. They should be able, so those things will kind of just pop off. And you will want to keep those. I'm just wondering. Yeah, so now I am able to pull, just kind of yank on it. I'm going to just pull those out, and you just remove the handle. That's simple. But you are going to want to remove these black pieces. So we've got enough bendability here that you can just kind of push it up and pop out each black piece separately. And you're going to do that on both sides. So those black pieces will not be used, and so that'll all go to the side. So there you go. That was pretty simple. When I first did this, I destroyed this entire thing. And you can do that if necessary, or if that's how it seems easier to you, and you just can't get these to come apart. But I figured out a way that you can do this. So now you're just going to put these guys back in, the black pieces, and yeah, they'll seem a little more flimsy, but that's just how it is right now. So once you've done that, you can reinsert this thing on the other side, like so. yeah, it's just gonna, you know, there's these pieces that want to turn. It's not gonna get perfect, but you can get that to work like so. So then what we're gonna do is we're going to just insert these sixers with these guys on back in. Oh, shoot. So the problem with this is that you are going to actually have to remove this entire thing to put the sixers back on just because they go underneath everything. So just do that on both sides. This thing just kind of stays there. Like that. That thing can come off and then you can just kind of put it in. And overall, this bottom part is not changed at all. So that's pretty easy. But if you are thinking of maybe trying to put in one of those... Oh, sorry, I put this in too far. One of those seismic charges from The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 7. And also what Jango Fett used in the asteroid field. We tried that and it did not work. I bet you could get it to work. We just didn't have the pieces small enough to get it to work. So once you have it back like that, so you might be able to insert something, but we just ended up filling it in. And I just thought the handle was just kind of useless. It didn't really, you can hold it just fine from here like that. But if you like the handle, you do not have to remove it. It's just, I don't think this whole contraption that we're going to build with these is going to work. It might, and you just wouldn't be able to insert these pieces in that just help it stay in, but, you know. Alright, so next, I'm going to put these guys back in, line them up, just get it all back, a little bit back to how it was before so that it's just a little easier. And then before we go on here, I'm going to put these guys on. And then from our first pieces that we took out that are extra, or pieces that we're adding on, we are going to take both of these 1 by 1 dark gray pieces then and stick them right there and right there. And just allows this area to just kind of blend in a little better after you see what we'll do next. Alright, so now we're going to take our 2x6 and our two 1x6s and just stick them together. You could use another 2x6, but I didn't have one, so I used two 2x6s. And then we're just going to take all of these. I think this is right. Go ahead and tell me if this is right. So you're gonna take all of these guys, your 1x1s, and then your 1x2s, stick them together. Okay, no, that's not right. So actually, yeah, no, that is right. You're just not gonna stick it on here. So then you're gonna take your 2x2 dark gray, and then you're gonna put your 2x2 green, then take your 2 whites with holes, white or whatever color you're using. Actually, we gotta flip this around, sorry, my bad. But so those two are just gonna go like that. So after you do that, you're going to just stack these guys on top. That's it. And that all is actually just going to go right inside here like that. And also, I don't know why this piece isn't on there. It should be on yours. But this just green 2x2 is actually here. Might have popped off. I'm not sure. But then you'll see on this other side, you'll have this. And it is flush with the landing gear right there. But it is lower down here. I do not have more of those orange pieces. Oh, that one's a little off. I would put them here because I just think that would look better if it went all the way across. But so now you have that. It's a little like kind of tilts down right now, but once you add the other piece, it'll secure. All right, so now we're gonna start on this. So first of all, you're just gonna pull this thing out and remove both of these. And those are not gonna be used. So just set them aside, do whatever you want, add them to your Lego collection. Oh. Alright, so I'm now in alright, so let's see. So you're just gonna pull that out. Sorry. That one is a little weird. Alright, so then this, see, this is actually gonna remain unchanged. So what you're gonna do now, you've got both of these, you're gonna pull this out. Pull this out. And so we're gonna actually take this off. Keep it just in your hand because you're just gonna flip it around. It was like this, which allows us to move independently, but we're gonna want it to stay so they move together. So that's gonna make it, so we're just gonna stick it in there, and then this thing won't move on its own. Now, this thing kind of will, you know, it's just kind of the way it works. But then you can just put it right back in. Wait, is that right? Yeah. So put it back in. You got it. It's basically the same thing. It looks exactly the same. All you're doing, again, I'll repeat the process. Pull out. Sorry, this one. Oh, it's like stuck in there. Alright. Like that. Flip it around. And then line it up and push it back in. And you attach the exact same way. Alright, so now that allows these to just kind of stay together. So next, on either side, you're going to attach your ones of these. Oh, no, sorry. You're actually going to attach this. So you gotta want to make sure you're lining it up with this. So if you want to hold this over, you want to hook it on, whatever you want to do, set it on there. So that means like this wing, you know, so you got that here. And you're going to put it all the way in. Then you're going to stick this on one of these guys. And then you're going to take one of these guys and put it on. Actually, no. Yes, you're going to do that. So you've got that. It's pretty secure on there. And it's just this piece here that if I didn't show it to you. And that's just going to go on there like that. So then on the other side, you're going to do the same thing. But, alright, so on the other side, you're going to do this. And then put this on. And now you're going to take these two pieces, this one and then this one, put them together. So, and then, but you do want to make sure that you're not pushing it all the way in because it's not going to work. It's just a little too thick. So that is going to go in just a little bit, not a lot, but it's still very secure and it really isn't a matter of stability. It's more a matter of like just hooking them together right now. So what we're gonna do next, and this thing just kind of came out because it will until we really attach it in there, but right there, just kind of set it in there, hold it in there, and then you're just gonna kind of put this through, I'm not sure there. So, like, again, I said that thing is not the entire width of the other one that I'm actually going to pull off the contraption just because this will make it easier. This thing will go in, and then I'm actually going to detach this entire contraption, and it's going to go on this side, like so. Then I'm going to detach the other one. That, and I'm going to stick it on the other side, just like that. And yes, I might have put it in a little too far on that side. I don't know if that's going to be a problem, it seems like. So you can just, if you find a problem, you just stick it in a little less. I mean, it's hard to judge. It's just kind of a guessing game in this case. And you just kind of stick it in as best as you can. And what will also help it stay in is once you put this thing back on, you're just going to want to make sure you're attaching it to all the parts. And you can stick it all the way down because that is at its height. And so you just want to make sure it's hooking onto these pieces down here. And you will see now that these things move the same. But you also see that if it's going to lift off, not that Legos necessarily did this, but they don't tip up. Sometimes Legos did it, sometimes they didn't, you know. So that's what was annoying me, so I just redid that. And I think it works a lot better, because all you have to do is just tilt it up, move it up with your hands, and it just seems better. So now it's just a matter of rebuilding this, now that we've filled in this area, and all that. So, you know, same kind of thing. This one, you kind of just got to figure out where your pieces go. Remembering is really helpful, because if you don't really remember, it can get tough. But I just remember that since I didn't really destroy this so much as the other ones, that this guy went in here. So like that. And if you were taking apart in the same pieces, you can follow along with me. If you didn't, it's not a problem. So then you got this guy piece that you had earlier. And yeah, they may have come apart more. I just kind of put them back together in a way when I was taking it apart, so that I had these sections that would just simply stay like this. Alright, so after you put those in, you're going to want to take your ones of these and just put them right here. And just remembering, you can also look at your instructions for this set. And that'll give you, they're also on Lego. I can link them in the description below if you need them and you don't know where yours are. So I'll do that. And then, like, they're online digital ones. I think you can turn it to PDF and print out, but I'm not positive. So then you just kind of go through and add pieces back on, so you can just kind of watch that happen. So I'm gonna add this guy back on, but wait, no, I can't do that yet. There's this piece that just goes right on like that, like here. So you can see why I removed that red piece, because that thing isn't completely filled in. Black sixer just kind of sets in right there. And then you are able to put these on because it's just not interfering in any way. And how I took it apart, you may have taken the cockpit part a little different, but since I attached this back on, it just makes it really easy. Just setting it back in there. And if I didn't destroy it too much, it's back to normal almost. So same process that we used when we just put everything back last time in part 1. Put these guys back on. Do it on both sides. This guy on. Put this guy on. And then finally put this thing back in. And you've got your completely redone, well, not completely, but you're redone without the gap that I showed you earlier on the part 1. You have gotten rid of the stud shears, unless you like them, but in my opinion, I don't like them very much. And then these things move together. So you want to bring it down. You actually don't have to, but then when you tilt it back up, they aren't going to tilt because of, like, they're kind of just stiff. So then you tilt it up, and you can fly it around, whatever. And then you've got this back part, which just seems way more finished to me. And you could replace this with a dark gray if you want, but I kind of like the way light gray it looks, just because most of it is light gray. And then finally, I did realize I had some of these orange studs that they use for the engines. And I'm just going to stick this on along there because I think it'll look a lot better. And honestly, I mean, yeah, they are similar spacing. And if you put in a 1x2 here, you could keep that, or 6x2 here, you could keep that same spacing, but I just like the way that looks. And it's still flush, it still lands the same way. And And then the last thing I was going to show you is that I did add just like a paper comma to his legs. You could just kind of make that. I found one online, a template online, just like that, because he did have that kind of thing in The Mandalorian, where he kind of had more, I don't know, robes or whatever around his legs, so I just added that. And then it's no different. Boba Fett fits in the same way to the cockpit, even with these changes, so you can just put him right in. Like that. This blaster, I don't know, I just kind of throw in the bottom down there. No, it's hitting his rangefinder, isn't it? Popped it off. That's okay. And then just make sure his hands are down. And then there you go. So that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and then like the video below. And so this is WHM Brick Bros. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.